Already, this oil spill is the worst environmental disaster America has ever faced. But make no mistake, we will fight this spill with everything we've got for as long as it takes. We will make BP pay for the damage their company has caused. And we will do whatever's necessary to help the Gulf Coast and its people recover from this tragedy.
Thanks. The explosion and fire aboard the Deepwater Horizon and the resulting oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico never should have happened, and I'm deeply sorry that it did. We will not rest until we make this right. We're a strong company and no resources will be spared.
It's a lot worse than what Katrina was because we was able to come back from Katrina. And if this comes back, I don't know if we'll ever be able to come. You know, if this comes here, I don't know if we'll ever be able to come back.
Environmental scientists testified to Congress that the use of dispersants, the chemicals that break up oil on the surface and underwater, does nothing except reduce the oil's visibility. In other words, it doesn't clean pollution, it just hides evidence.
With respect, sir, we drill hundreds of wells a year all around the world.
Yeah, I know, that's what's scaring me right now.
I'm just amazed at this testimony. Mr. Hayward, you're not taking responsibility.
Independent science is so important to tell the truth about what's happening here. So far, all the numbers and all the information we're getting is coming either from BP or coming from the government, and frankly, neither of them are very believable.
We just want to get to the truth and find out exactly what happened.
Hello, my name is Gurnee Braden with Gripmaster Films. One of the biggest man-made disasters happened on April 20th, 2010 with the BP oil disaster. According to an article by the Tampa Tribune reported by the Associated Press on November 10th, 2011, the U.S. government is going to allow BP to end its cleanup phase in all the states on the Gulf Coast. This move has angered some local residents as well as the environmental community. So if the government's going to allow BP to stop cleaning up the oil, are they saying that it's safe to go back to the beaches and back to the ocean? According to the article by the Associated Press, BP has made the claim that they have cleaned up 90% of all the Gulf state beaches that were affected by the oil. From my interview with this contractor, it may not be safe to go back onto our Florida beaches. And here's his story on why. Your name?
Joe S. Johns.
Oh, okay. And so how many beaches do you actually work at?
Perdita Beach, Perdita Keys, and Johnson Beach was the only two that I really worked at.
And that's in the panhandle of Florida?
That's right.
What's the closest major city that it's closest to?
I guess it'd be Pensacola.
Pensacola?
Yeah. I worked back east of Gulf Shores and all like that.
So tell me about when you were working, what was this about some oil getting buried?
What it was when the oil would come on the beach and then the tide would go out and come back in and the sand would cover it up. And it would make layers in the sand. It'd be layered in the sand and the sand would cover it up. And we dig the oil up and get it up off the top of the sand. And as what happened is they brung those machines in, those sand sharks and stuff, later on to dig it out of the sand. and it just wasn't doing a good job. What it was doing was pulverizing the oil and making it so little where you couldn't get it, in my eyes. And then it would just be where you couldn't get it after that, you know, after the sand sharks went there. But they kept working with those sand sharks, trying to make them better and better, and to where it pick up the oil, you know, because some patties would be big as that truck, and you know, all the way down to just drop size, you know. And but the way I seen it was, when they first started out, they just wasn't doing that good of a job. But I guess they just progressed getting better with them, you know. They say they done got where they would, you know, pick them up real good.
And what exactly is a sand shark?
It's a mechanical thing they pull behind a tractor, a four-wheel drive big tractor, that would you know, that just cleans the beach, picks up trash, cigarette butts, bottle caps, stuff like that, picks up small stuff, and then like rakes the beach, you know, and just makes it look good, you know.
Makes it look good?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And when did you start first noticing that some of the oil was getting buried, or what was the exact situation?
Well, when what oil they was getting up, they was dumping in front end loaders out of those sand sharks, and they would take it and put it in a dump truck and haul it to be just, you know, burnt or whatever they did with it. Just wasn't doing that great of a job as when they first got going with them, you know. It's not a good job at all.
Not a good job at all?
Right.
Oh, okay. So what was happening then is the oil was mixing in with the sand?
Mixing in with the sand, getting pulverized, to where in my mind, if they just left it lay like it was, we could have cleaned the oil up. You know, if it's just sitting there all the way it's buried in the dirt, we was getting it, you know. It was slow process, that's what that is, you know. But we could have got it up, you know, no doubt.
And was it important to you to clean that oil, or?
Yes, yeah, very important.
Why was it important to you?
It was important to everybody to get all that oil off that beach. There's some pretty beaches down there, and that Johnson Beach is a reserve, and it just needs to be done by hand, you know.
Done by hand?
Not by me or anybody, it's by somebody.
By somebody. Now, when these guys were doing it, was that part of your crew, or was it a separate crew?
Yeah, it was a separate company.
Separate company?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was doing the sand shark.
Now did you work with BP directly, or did you work through a contractor?
Contractor with.
Now, this crew that was running these sand sharks, did they run them during any shift, or was there a specific shift?
The only time I seen them running was at night time. It was on that night shift.
From my research, I discovered that the company that was running these sand sharks was a company called SWS Eagle, or also known now as SWS Environmental Services.
My name is Ernie Watson. I'm with Eagle SWS Environmental here in Pensacola, working hand in hand with all the other companies around that's coming out to help us out, try to keep the oils out of our bays and waterways. And we have a barge stationed over in Perdido Bay.
When we was there cleaning up, all of a sudden we got to move out of their way. Just stop everybody from working, move out of their way, and let them come through. And you know, and they would come in like 4 or 5 wide and just come through and just and covered the whole a mile or 2 or 3 of the beach, you know. And like down at Johnson Beach, it was really big patties down there laying on top of the sand that they just drove right through, and it was gone. But when you looked in the dump truck, it looked like they was probably getting maybe 10% oil, you know. It just wasn't a very good high percentage.
So they were only picking up 10% of the oil?
And, yeah, what I seen, yeah. It'd be a big trunk load of dump truck load, like mostly just sand, you know, and shales. And there wasn't very much oil in it at all.
Did some of the environmentalists see some of this stuff going on as well?
Oh yeah.
They did? Yeah. And what did they think about that?
They didn't like it, you know, they didn't like it at all, but I guess there wasn't nothing they could do about it, you know, until there's a lot of steps you got to take to stop something like that, you know. Yeah, well, the only time that like the beaches were ever closed was when they would come through, you know. But now that's the reason they did it at night, was I guess for not that many people, you know. I know the park rangers and stuff like that sure didn't like the sand sharks coming through there, the tractors and stuff coming through there.
And these park rangers, is that the ones on Johnson Beach?
Mostly down in the park where I was working at Perdita Key. They really had a problem with those sand shark people down there, and they really didn't like it. But I guess the Johnson Beach just kind of went with they just wanted it off their beach, you know, or wanted it. That oil, a patty of oil sitting out there's an oil eyesore, you know, and everybody just wants it gone, or wants it to go away, wants it to disappear. But the problem is, if it ain't gone, if it's just pulverized into the sand, you still got the same problem. You know, it's still there, you know, or 90% of it is.
It's still there.
Unless they come up with a better machine since I was there. But the ones I've seen didn't. It just got mixed up, you know, and pulverized.
And so when you had to move out of the way for these guys, did you ever come back behind them, or there was that in, you just work on another section?
Yeah, we would pretty much just work a different section then, you know, because that was just pulverized all the heck in, you know, you couldn't get it, you know, I mean, just beat all, we're so fine that it was about like, almost like the sand, you know. They didn't just get the shales and sand, but they only dug down, I think they would go up to 8 inches or something like that. But the crabs, the little ghost crabs, we call them, they get anywhere from this big, and it scooped them up too. And nobody was separating those, you know, letting them run out, you know, they would just get dumped in the dump truck and go with the oil, you know. And that was the other bad thing about the sand sharks, you know, and the other equipment they had trying to clean the beach with, you know, they pulled behind them. There's good people on those beaches down there, some good hard workers down there, those local people down there. They did a heck of a job. They was wanting to work, they was wanting to clean their beaches up, you know.
And so they can get on with tourism and...
Yeah, and you know, glad to get that stuff off the beach. It felt good to do that, you know. They all felt good about doing that job, you know. It was a big letdown when we all got laid off, you know, because we just didn't feel like, you know, most everybody just didn't feel like it was going to get done as good, you know.
Now, how far did you get with cleaning before you got laid off?
A little over 2 months, I think it was.
2 months?
Yeah. But I just hope nature takes care of the rest of it, you know, that's all it's going to be able to, because there ain't no way you going, once that oil's pulverized, you ain't getting it out of there then.